Hello, I'm Sawyer Turnbow, and welcome to CSTS1. Ozzy Albies continues to rewrite the history books of the Atlanta Braves organization. On September 22nd, 2021, the Atlanta Braves played in game number 3 of a 4-game set against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Coming into the series, the Braves were struggling mightily, losing 4 of their last 5 games overall. However, the Braves won the last game of their series in San Francisco against the Giants before the short flight over to Arizona. The Braves did what they should do in the first 2 games of the series with the Diamondbacks, and they won both games rather easily. Then, during Game 3, history was made. Ozzy Albies stepped to the plate in the top of the 5th inning and clubbed his 30th home run of the season. Now, not only was this his 30th home run of the season, it was also his 100th RBI of the season. While reaching these milestones, Albies became the first second baseman in Braves history to hit 30 home runs and drive in 100 runs in the same season. At the ripe age of 24 years old, he also became the youngest second baseman in MLB history to accomplish a 30-100 season. Albies wanted to make sure he got that historic ball, so he traded a signed bat and a signed ball with a fan who caught the home run ball, saying, that ball, is going in the trophy case for sure." Coming into the series, Atlanta had let their division lead slim down to 2 games over the Phillies. While Atlanta getting hot and riding a 4-game winning streak now, the division lead is back up to 3 games. The most credit for this hot stretch goes to the offense, as Albies, Freddie Freeman, Austin Riley, and Adam Duvall have destroyed Arizona pitching so far this series. Look for the Braves to remain hot coming down the stretch and carry this momentum into future series.
Hello, I'm DeWarn Garner with CSTS1. Nick Saban lost his first game dating back to the start of the 2020 season against Texas A&M on October 9, 2021. A historical game in different ways, as this snaps a 100-game winning streak for the Crimson Tide against unranked opponents. Texas A&M came into this game unranked with a 3-2 record. The Aggies were ranked as high as number 6 to start the season. Jimbo Fisher makes history alongside his team, as he is the first assistant that has been beaten his former mentor and Nick Saban. Fisher called the win back in May before the summer began, where he exclaimed, "We're going to beat his tail," to which Saban responded, "In golf?" Fisher came into his game as the head coach of Texas A&M that previously lost the last 3 meetings against the Tide. All 106,000 fans at Kyle Field and College Station helped to get the game started quickly, as the Aggies ended the first half with a 24-10 score. Bryce Young and the Alabama offense stormed back in the second half to tie the game at 38. However, Seth Small trots out to nail the game-winning 28-yard field goal while time expires and elevates them over the Tide. Saban and company were expected to steamroll their way through the regular season on their way to another college football playoff berth, but the great state of Texas had other plans. The Aggies were written off as they came into the game with 2 losses against the number 16 Arkansas 20-10 and Mississippi State the week before 26-22. As the fans rushed the field, Nick Saban walked off the field holding a new 5-1 record for the season and 24-1 against his former assistants.
The Atlanta Braves squared off against the Philadelphia Phillies in their next to last series of the season with another National League East title in their grasp. The Braves entered the series with a 1-game lead over the Phillies, with their magic number setting at 5, with only 6 games remaining on the schedule. Simply put, a Braves sweep of the Phillies would clinch a 4th consecutive National League East title for the Braves. Even better for the Braves, the series took place on their home field inside of Truist Park. And the pitching lined up perfectly for Atlanta as well, as they had Charlie Morton in game 1, Max Fried in game 2, and Ian Anderson going in game 3 to close out the series. Atlanta went on to win game 1 by a score of 2-1, and they survived several major scoring threats posed by the Phillies. Game 2 was won by the Bats in a strong outing from Fried. Atlanta won by a score of 7-2, with the Braves MVP candidate Austin Riley driving in 3 of the 7 runs. So, after winning the first 2 games of the series, the Braves entered Game 3 with their magic number to clinch down to just 1. Needless to say, Atlanta was buzzing. Anderson made quick work of the Phillies in the top of the first. Then, Jorge Soler, one of those Braves acquisitions at the trade deadline, blasted a mammoth 465-foot home run to lead off the bottom of the first for the Braves, sending the crowd into a frenzy. The Braves would tack on 2 more runs in the 4th inning via a solo home run by Austin Riley and a 2-out RBI double by Dansby Swanson. The Braves added 2 more runs in the bottom of the 5th on an RBI triple by Ozzy Albies, who was then brought home on an RBI single by Austin Riley. However, the game was far from over. The Phillies struck for 2 runs in the top of the 7th on a 2-run home run by Andrew McCutchen. The Phillies would tack on another run on a solo home run in the top of the 8th inning by JT Realmuto. Then came the top of the ninth. The Braves are just 3 outs away from another NL East title, and here comes Will Smith. Now, Smith has had his fair share of struggles this season, but you wouldn't have known it when he pitched this game. Smith recorded 2 quick outs in the ninth before Ronald Torreyes stepped to the plate. Smith got ahead in the count 0-2, and then this happened.
The 0-2 pitch. He got it! Against all odds, against all comers, the Braves are the champions of the National League East for the 4th year.
Even after all the injuries, all the setbacks, all the doubt from the national media, Braves fans themselves, the Atlanta Braves yet again find a way to clinch a 4th consecutive National League East title, and that'll set up a date with the Milwaukee Brewers in the National League Division Series, who have been playing some pretty poor ball lately, so who knows? Braves might be able to squeak out of the NLDS there, but the point remains, the resilience of this team is just uncanny. Their ability to come back again and again and again is what makes this team so great and so fun to watch. Now, you've punched your ticket into the big dance. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to get to another NLCS, or are you going to win a World Series? For Braves fans, let's hope for a World Series. Smith recorded that save on just 8 pitches, striking out 2 of the 3 batters he faced and the other out coming on a pop-out. With a series sweep, the Braves won their 4th consecutive National League East title. The Braves won 14 consecutive division titles from 1991 to 2005, with those from 91 to 93 happening while they were in the National League West. Now, could this be just the next long run of division titles for the Braves? And if a run does happen, could this one result in more than just one World Series like it did in 95? Only time will tell, but with the Braves' young core, fans have to be ecstatic about the future of this organization.
The Jacksonville Jaguars snap a 20-game losing streak that dates back to the Gardner Minshew days at the start of the 2020. The losing streak dates back to over a year ago on September 13, 2020, when they last won against Indianapolis Colts. Gardner Minshew gave his great speech after the game before their winning hiatus began.
That just shows what we can do right there. That's just a glimpse. That we ain't even scratching the surface yet. Do not be satisfied with 1-0. We got another division game coming up. Let's bring it this week in practice. Iron sharpens iron. Let's go win again, baby. Hey, win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win!
Minshew gave this spectacular speech after the 27-20 victory in Week 1 of the 2020 season, but would not give another. Plans were in place to hopefully snag a top-tier quarterback in the upcoming 2021 draft. This would leave Minshew without a job, meaning that he would have to lead the Jaguars to a decent season to push them out of top picks. Minshew, of course, would not be able to do that, as he had an up-and-down season with injuries and a 1-15 record. At the end of the 2020 season, Minshew would be replaced as the Jags headed the number 1 overall pick, where they drafted Trevor Lawrence to be the next quarterback. Lawrence has never lost a regular season game in his career through high school or college. This did not continue in the pros, however. He started out his professional career 0-5 with losses to Houston, Denver, Arizona, Cincinnati, and Tennessee. He finally got his first professional win against the Miami Dolphins to bring the Jaguars' record to 1-6 and have their first win since the 2020 season.
Rory McIlroy earned his 20th career victory on the PGA Tour at the CJ Cup at Summit in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, let's watch some of his highlights from this weekend.
The putter really has been working well all week. Today as well, here at the second, Trevor.
Yeah, the stroke just looked beautiful. Just been able to get that release dialed in. A lot of times when he struck.
Pretty easy to tell from the video here that Rory McIlroy, and this his 4th round highlights that we're watching here, is just in total control of everything from the putter to the irons to the short game. I mean, it's just a marvel to watch. The man, when he is on, he's clearly one of the best players on tour and in the world, just point blank, period. You know, it wasn't too long ago that he was just this dominating figure in golf, where he was winning a major seemed like every other time they had a major. So will this be the start of something special for McIlroy? And can he keep this hot play up? Only time will tell.
As well, I mean, all systems go for McIlroy. Here he is at 8.
Distance control up the hill.
McIlroy would go on to shoot an astounding 25 under par over the weekend and edging out Colin Morikawa, who finished at second, shooting 24 under par. This was McIlroy's first win on tour since the Wells Fargo Championship back in May of this year. This was McElroy's debut for the 21-22 season, and boy did he get off to a good start. While the CJ Cup isn't a major tournament, don't discount McElroy's performance. These early tournaments can set the stage later in the season when it comes to qualifying for the FedEx Cup. Can McElroy bid off this performance, or will this just be another year of Rory being, just another face on tour? Only time will tell, but I'm riding with the Irishman to have a strong season and possibly even complete his career Grand Slam. When he's at his best, McElroy is undoubtedly one of the most dominating and intimidating figures on tour. The win also carried some historical significance as McElroy became only the 7th golfer since 1966 to reach 20 wins on tour before the age of 33, and he has now gained lifetime membership status on tour, which will go into effect after he completes 2 more seasons.
The NBA is officially back underway with the start of the 2021-2022 season on Tuesday night. The NBA opened the season with 2 heavyweight matchups between the Bucks against the Nets and the Lakers against the Warriors. Milwaukee opens their game on the 19th by having a championship ceremony where they received their title rings. The Nets were one of the teams that the Bucks played on the way to their championship. The Nets, however, came up short in Game 7. The Bucks easily won this game as they beat Brooklyn 127-104 on opening night. The stars of the night came to play for both sides as Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, Kevin Durant, and James Harden all had big nights for their teams. The former MVP in Giannis notched a 32-point game with 14 rebounds and 7 assists, while Middleton dropped 20 points with 9 rebounds and 3 assists. Durant led the way for Brooklyn as he had the highest point total with 32 and snagged 11 rebounds as well. Harden did it all as he had 20 points with 8 rebounds and 8 assists. Over in the Bay, the Golden State Warriors snagged their first win of the season this year against a tough opponent in LeBron James and the Lakers. LeBron and Anthony Davis combined for 67 points in a 121-114 loss, while no other player hit the double-digit mark. On the other side of the ball, it was vastly different, as Steph Curry dropped the triple-double with 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. The Warriors had 6 players reach double digits, and all of them had 12 points or more. The 82-game season is officially underway, and Wednesday, October 20th, will showcase all other teams around the league that have been anticipating the start of the season.
The PGA Tour has been drawing attention since the announcement of their new rule, but not in a good way. Recently, the announcement was made that the maximum length of a driver would be reduced from 48 inches to 46 inches. Now, the common golfer might think, 2 inches, what's the big deal? But for somebody like Phil Mickelson, this made a big difference. As we can see in this tweet, word is USGA is soon rolling back driver length to 46 inches. This is pathetic. First, it promotes a shorter, more violent swing, which makes it more injury prone, doesn't allow for length of arc to create speed, and during our first golf boom in 40 years, our amateur governing body keeps trying to make it less fun. Now, Mickelson is easily one of the more respected figures on tour for many, many reasons. His personality and wins accumulated on tour speak for themselves. For him to feel so strongly about this topic must carry some weight. In today's game of golf, it's all about gaining distance, gaining speed off the tee, irons, whatever. With this rule change, we're doing the exact opposite. Mickelson cares about the safety of the modern golfer, but he also wants the game to continue to grow. Hopefully, this will just be a little hiccup, and before long, we see the USGA allow longer drivers again. Teeing it high and letting it fly will become easier if they allow longer drivers, and the rate of play will continue to climb.
Ben Simmons officially shows up to the practice facility for the Philadelphia 76ers on October 12th. Simmons reluctantly joins the 76ers amidst the money that he was losing due to holding out from returning to camp. Simmons joins teammate Joel Embiid and head coach Doc Rivers back at practice this past week. However, Rivers kicked Simmons out of practice for being disengaged and being detrimental to the team's workout. Simmons also suspended for 1 game and then will be allowed to come back to practice in the games after his suspension. Teammate Joel Embiid publicly explains his disinterest in the whole situation with Ben Simmons at the current moment. Here's what Embiid has to say about his teammate.
At this point, I don't care about that man, honestly. He does whatever he wants. That's not my job. That's those guys' jobs. I'm only focused on trying to make the team better, win some games, play hard every night, and try to lead, the guys that we have here. And I'm sure they feel the same way because, our chemistry has been excellent. Despite everything that's been happening in the last few months, like I said, I don't really care.
As he goes on to say, Embiid does not care about the situation and wants the drama with Simmons to stop. The 76ers were fighting hard to get Simmons even back to Philadelphia, but it looks like it might be a quick turnaround to get him out. The 76ers have been a playoff team for the last few seasons and a top-tier team in the Eastern Conference. To have this kind of catastrophe early in the season could impact the chemistry of the team and hurt them down the stretch. If the Simmons situation is not handled swiftly, it could cause a team turmoil down the line.
June 21st marked the first day that Major League umpires would begin checking pitchers between innings for foreign substances. Basically, the pitcher is checked after he completes an inning of work or as exits the game. Starters are checked after the first inning, and if they leave the game in the middle of an inning, relievers are checked in the same manner. Closers are checked before they ever even throw a pitch in the game. For years, there has been suspicions of pitchers using foreign substances to help their grip of the baseball and create more spin and deception on their pitches. After the MLB started doing their checks, several big-name pitchers' numbers inflated, namely Garrett Cole of the New York Yankees, and suspicion rose to an all-time high. Then, on June 27th, this happened.
There's something that can scrape the baseball and get extra movement, but it would appear that something was untoward in the glove of Hector Santiago, who can't believe it.
We have our first culprit of the new system of checking pitchers. Hector Santiago has been thrown out of the ball game.
As you can see, Santiago just shocked that he's getting thrown out of this ball game right now. And you can see the umpires, earlier in the video telling him, like, you can't, be reaching here, whatever. Did he have stuff on his arm? I don't know. Santiago's never been a hard thrower, never been a big spin guy. So who knows? Who knows? Did he have stuff? I'm not going to sit here and say he did. I'm not going to sit here and say he didn't. But it was the first guy in baseball to get tossed because of the foreign substance check that's run every inning. Santiago may have been the first guy to get caught, but he's far from the last. Now, after the game, he kept saying, it was sweating rosin, whatever. You do you, big guy. But it's very interesting to see how many more guys get caught and how many more big-name pitchers see their numbers rise for the worst. Now, let's take this into consideration for a second. Pitchers can't use substances, help their grip or whatever. So why can hitters? Now, they can use batting gloves, pine tar, they can use spray bottles or just stick them or whatever. It will be interesting to see how Major League Baseball moves forward from this point on.
Kyrie Irving will not be suiting up for the Brooklyn Nets for at least half the season due to not receiving the COVID-19 vaccine. There is a mandate in New York that does not allow any persons without the vaccine to be in an enclosed space for an allotted period of time. This takes away Kyrie Irving's chances of being able to play this season for the Nets. If he does not play this season, he will lose out on potentially $16 million and also $185 million extension that he will be playing for this year. More states are also moving to the same law with the vaccine in bigger states such as California that does not allow unvaccinated players to play in an arena. In this 82-game season, Irving will miss at least 41 games and potentially more if more states move to this same ruling. Irving mentioned that he will not be retiring from the NBA, but will be taking the year off due to this situation. The Nets organization have also been mulling the thought of trading away Irving to try and help bolster the team. As of right now, those are just rumors. The Nets made a deep playoff run last year without Irving, but also had a hobbled James Harden. It looks like Irving will not be in attendance again to help his teammates. That brings our broadcast to a close. For CSTS1, I am DeJuan Garner signing off for both myself and my partner, Sawyer Turnbow. Thank you for tuning in to CSTS1 and have a great rest of your day.